Elaine Saxby.
Thank you, Mr. Holloway, and it's a pleasure to serve under your chair, and I'd like to thank my honourable friend, the member for the Isle of Wight, for securing this important debate, because I am second as the most remote hospital on the list, and I am the most remote on the UK mainland. Obviously in North Devon, I don't have to go by boat. Some of my not my constituents, my neighbours' constituents from Lundy do come by boat or fly into hospital, but most of mine come via road, which is described as the longest no-through road in the country to get to beautiful Northern Devon. Not only are we rural, we are also coastal. And as Professor Chris Whitty has highlighted, coastal communities' health outcomes are particularly poor. And I would like to take this opportunity to really thank the fantastic team at North Devon District Hospital. They are remarkable. I'm delighted that the Minister has actually had the opportunity to come and meet some of them, where we went to visit the very first COVID catch-up ward in the entire country. So we might be small, but they're pretty perfectly formed at my hospital. They were the recipients of 1.9 million last December for COVID catch-up elective ward. It was opened in time for the Jubilee and is named the Jubilee Ward, where they are conducting 7 days a week hip and knee replacement surgery, where most patients go home the same day. It's a truly remarkable achievement. It was delivered by some of the Nightingale teams, and the plea that I made to the Minister then, I will repeat today. My hospital is highlighted as one of the 40 hospitals due a rebuild. Their plans are written, it's a modular build, and the team there have demonstrated that they can deliver on time and on budget, and they also can show the need for that improvement to the facilities at the site. So if the Minister is not in post next week, and I very much hope she is, could she leave a note on the way out and let people know that North Devon District Hospital is ready to start that building programme if the funds could be released. The team at North Devon, because of the size and the problems that they have in everything that's already been spoken about, from recruitment, retention, but also the fact that the site is in need of work. The facilities team there are so innovative and creative. We're very fortunate to have linked with Exeter, which has actually secured the site in many ways and gives us opportunities for virtual wards, which are now running, for consultants to share the patch between Exeter and North Devon. But it does still leave, because of the age of our population, as well as has already also been mentioned, it changes the nature of the hospital, that the services that are used the most means that services like maternity are used much less. So therefore, it's much harder to get consultants for some of the specialisms. And my honourable friend, the member for Thirsk Moulton, spoke about distances travelled. We see in North Devon that people take choices about their cancer treatment based on the distance they would have to travel. It's 60 miles for most of us to get to Exeter Hospital, and if you're having to go for something like radiotherapy on a daily or weekly basis, a 120-mile journey may be a choice you choose not to take. And I would very much hope, as we look to how we actually tackle these remote rural communities and their health outcomes, as to how we can ensure that actually patients have the access to the best care rather than the nearest care to them. The rurality of North Devon is very much what is driving people struggling to come and work there. We had a recruitment issue in North Devon long before the pandemic. We now have 1 in 5 of our nursing posts vacant. But not only is it hard to actually get to North Devon, it's hard to move to North Devon and live in North Devon. My honourable friend from the Isles of Scilly and myself spend a lot of time talking about housing and the housing challenges that we have in the southwest of England. But we do find that at the moment it is almost impossible to buy a house in North Devon. The rental market has also collapsed, making it, for those people who are working in the public sector, in many other jobs like hospitality, to move there is nearby impossible. This is now overlaid with the situation with social care. So my fantastic hospital at this point in time has more beds full of patients that could go home than it would normally have at this time of year. That's not because the social care teams in North Devon aren't also fantastic. It's actually just very, very hard to recruit, and the costs of providing social care have obviously escalated hugely with the increased costs of energy. So for those fantastic teams that travel around and look after mostly elderly people in their homes, the cost of getting there has now shot up, as well as the issues around recruitment, and obviously we're paying far more in that sector to attract and retain those great individuals that do such valuable work.
She's making a very good speech indeed. I wonder if she'd agree with me that it might be a good idea to revisit the taxation regime that covers the remuneration for mileages that some health workers have to drive. Because I would say that they're being rather penalised, and perhaps the number of miles could be raised that would not attract taxation.
Thank you, and indeed, I would agree in many ways, and indeed the Right Honourable Member for Richmond and myself have had similar conversations in a previous life. And I think there's much could be done, and I also personally would like to see a way of actually giving social care workers electric cars so that they were taken out of this and could decarbonise at the same time. But my concerns around social care, I hope as the new administration comes in, that there will be some revisiting of how we are going to actually tackle the challenges of social care without the ring-fence money if that plan is to go ahead. Because really, we need to look after everybody who's unwell in our society. To have a hospital with people who could be at home and the frustration of visiting a social care organisation over recess, and for them to explain to me that they have the work for so many extra people. They can recruit internationally, and they are recruiting internationally. They advertised 6 jobs, and overnight they had 70 applicants. They could take all 70, but there is nowhere for them to live. And until we in Northern Devon find a way to address our housing challenges, I will work tirelessly here to tackle them. But as a community, we need to find a way to ensure that people that we need to work in and live in our community can afford to do so before this situation really does get any worse as we head into the winter. And talking about the winter and seasonality, I also wanted to highlight with North Devon District Hospital the remarkable work that goes on within A&E. Unlike many hospitals which have a big winter peak, my population increases 5-fold during the summer months. So my A&E is busy all year round, which I think has its benefits in that we don't have those peaks and troughs, but I'm not sure that the funding really truly reflects the seasonal influx of visitors, the change of those visitors. Obviously, the injuries you secure on a beach are quite different to my elderly population. And that understanding the rurality, seasonality and locality of the fabulous North Devon Hospital, I do think there is some work to be done. And my parting final comment to the Minister is that quick reminder, we're one of the 40 and we're ready to go. Thank you.